This is the Lexus Sports Extra with Josh Moser, Mike DePasquale, Donovan Campbell, and Drew Rosenhaus.
Hi everyone, Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa had to be carted off the field in the first quarter of today's game against the Bills. He did not return. Officially, it is bruised ribs for the Fins starting signal caller. Welcome into our Channel 7 studios. I'm Josh Moser. This is 7 Sports Extra. Tua's health now in question, thus the entire offense heading into Week 3. Miami does not know if they will have Tua under center next Sunday on the road against the Raiders. Here's what happened. Second Dolphins possession of the game. Tagovailoa absolutely rocked on this play. Tua reaching for his left rib cage. Remember, he's the only lefty starter in the league. The quarterback did not return. Couldn't even make it to the sidelines. Now there are serious questions about his long-term durability.
Don't know the severity of the injury right now, but we're going to run some tests tonight and tomorrow morning. But like any position, if he's not able to go, and look, we've dealt with this with COVID, with injuries. I mean, this is kind of something it's not new to anyone. The next guy's got to play.
Extra points.
Time now to welcome the one and only Drew Rosenhaus to the show. We've been talking about this all day, Drew. Tua hurt in the first quarter. What does his loss mean for the team?
Well, first of all, since it's ribs, this isn't a long-term injury, even for a quarterback. I can't imagine that he's going to miss more than 2 games at the most, even the worst-case scenario. Guys can come back pretty quick. Unless it's like maybe a lung injury, a punctured lung, or something similar to what Drew Brees had last year. But barring anything severe, he should be back in a couple weeks. As far as the long-term future, this doesn't help. Tua got off to a promising start against the Patriots, but this isn't going to quiet all the cries and the outpouring of fans who want the Dolphins to trade for Deshaun Watson.
Yeah. Drew Rosenhaus with the very latest. Everybody at home, we'll keep you posted. Thanks, Drew.
You bet.
Tua was sacked twice and took 3 other big hits prior to that final shot in the ribs. An MRI is scheduled for Monday. Without Tua, the Fins struggling, ensuing possession for the Bills after the injury. Josh Allen buying time with his feet, finding Stephon Diggs across the field for the touchdown. That made it 14-0 Buffalo less than 8 minutes in. Later in the first, Jacoby Brissett now in at QB for Miami. Brissett is picked off by Levi Wallace. The disaster start continues. Second quarter we go, Dolphins in Bills territory. Brissett escaping the rush and going for it all right here. Devontae Parker has a chance and lets it go right through his hands. That's a play Parker has to make. Still 14-0. Same drive, 3rd and 6 from the Bills 11. Brissett complete to Jakeem Grant, and Grant coughs it up. The Dolphins really just beating themselves at this point. However, when the Fins need a big play on defense, it comes from this man. Xavier Howard picking off Allen, his first of the season. Howard leading the NFL with 10 INTs last season. Now can the offense turn the takeaway into points? Brissett back to pass. Nowhere to go. The Dolphins O-line giving up a season-high 6 sacks in the game.
You just got to work with the guys next to you, trust the guys next to you. And, we still doing that. We're a young line, and we trying to improve. There's no excuse, we can't keep saying that. But, we working to be better, man. We will be better.
On a second-round pick in 2020, back to the game, 4th and 2 in the second quarter. Head coach Brian Flores says go for it in the red zone. Malcolm Brown can't move the sticks. The Dolphins 0 for 4 on 4th downs for the day. Fins trail 14-0 at the half. Bills get the ball to start the third and march right down the field. Allen all sorts of time, finding Dawson Knox for the 8-yard score. That made it 21-0. And let's give you something to cheer about. Little SoFlo Pro-age, former Hallandale High star Zach Moss fighting his way in for the score. Moss had 2 on the day. It's a 35-0 whooping. Dolphins shut out, falling to 1-1 on the season.
We didn't do well enough in any area today. So offensive line, defensive line, coaching, I think we just need to regroup, make the corrections, and do better.
Build off of the good plays from this week. Go back to work, go back to the drawing board. We got a good division. Not a division, but a good game coming up. It'll be interesting.
They just really came ready to play. We work really hard every day at practice, so we'll just make the corrections. 24-hour rule in the NFL, so win or lose, 24 hours, flush it.
The guys are disappointed. I'm disappointed. But, I think we need to just regroup.
Brissett taking over for Tua after the injury. Now the question becomes, how much of a long-term replacement can Brissett be? For that answer, we bring in Mike DePasquale. Mike.
If you ask Jacoby, the answer is simple. Given the opportunity, he feels he can lead this Dolphins offense. No questions asked. Quarterback Jacoby Brissett got his shot against Buffalo once Tua Tagovailoa suffered his rib injury. This wasn't Brissett's first rodeo. His mentality has always been crystal clear.
I don't refer to myself as a backup quarterback, for one. I mean, I'm always throwing the ball, just keeping my arm loose because you never know. Like I said, I mean, injuries happen in this league. So, you always got to be ready.
The West Palm Beach native has started 32 games over his 6-year career. Against the Bills, Brissett finished 24 of 40, passing for 169 yards and 1 interception. There were some drop passes.
It's not always on the receiver. I mean, sometimes it's on me, bad ball, but, it's early in the season, second game of the season, so it's not like the house is burning.
Brissett does have the respect of his teammates.
We're very confident in Kobe, man. We talking trash at practice, me and Jacoby. It's the next man up mentality, and we just got to do it. We're gonna whatever he lead us to, we're gonna do it.
And Jacoby wanted to make this clear about an opportunity like today.
You got to go out there and compete and be ready when your opportunity comes, however it comes. You just got to go out there when you get your opportunity and make the most of it. I'm a starter.
There's nothing wrong in any way in being confident about yourself. Coach Brian Flores has always had the next man up mentality. Now we wait and see if Tua does come back for Sunday's game in Las Vegas, or if Jacoby gets the start he sounds like he's ready for.
Drew rejoining us tonight on 7 Sports Extra. Right now, it's Jacoby Brissett under center for the Fins for the foreseeable future. Drew, how viable is Brissett long-term for the Fins?
I don't think he is the long-term answer, but he is a very good backup, and he's certainly in the same class with the Ryan Fitzpatrick. Brissett's been a winner in this league, and teams obviously sought after him as one of the top backups in the NFL. He's going to have his hands full if he goes up against the Raiders next week, though.
You've mentioned the possibility of Deshaun Watson ending up right here in Miami. Due to his injury, how likely is it that this increases the chances the Dolphins try and trade for Watson?
Well, I think it does increase the chances. I think that although this probably isn't a long-term injury, it does beg the question that people have asked whether Tua, with his size, is going to be in previous injury history, whether he's going to be able to hold up at the NFL level physically. I do think that the fact that Watson hasn't played in the first 2 games, hasn't been active, it could get both sides to come together and figure out a more reasonable solution than several weeks ago. Both teams seem to have more motivation to get a deal done at this juncture.
Drew Rosenhaus giving us that inside information right here on Extra. Thanks, Drew. Hang on. We'll bring you back later in the show to talk Week 3 in the Raiders. Everybody at home, say hello to Donovan Campbell. D. Canes fans in disbelief. They thought Michigan State at home would be a lock for that win column. However, this game, anything but that.
Josh, it was a tale of 2 halves for the Miami Hurricanes on Saturday, where Miami allowed Sparty to come to town and have a touchdown party in the second half. Hurricanes head coach Manny Diaz didn't dance around his words, describing his team's latest embarrassing loss.
Disappointed in our performance, disappointed in the outcome. I have to give credit to Michigan State. Turnovers told the story of the day, missing opportunities and not creating any turnovers. They won basically all the critical moments of the game.
While all losses are tough to swallow, the Canes admit losing to Michigan State at home 38-17 had a slightly different taste.
We had a great week of practice. I mean, this was one of our best weeks the whole camp. During the season, we put in so much work, and I mean, it was just the little things. Little things add up. Just undisciplined in certain areas, tackling. It just hurts to lose this game because we know we should have won.
It's hard to win turning the ball over 4 times, especially in crucial situations, and from the team's most important player.
I just got to be better. Taking care of the ball is the quarterback's job. It's my job to not turn over the ball. I take pride in that. I got the whole team in my hands when I have the ball. I got to be better for everybody.
At least with 9 games remaining on the season, the Canes acknowledge what needs to change.
Get to the bottom of everything and trying to just start fresh. We got a new week, so we got to put this game behind us, bro, and focus on the new game and go out there and execute during practice and fix a little thing.
We just a team of winners. We're not used to just going out there 21 us at home, that's not us. So we go out, be better. This week of practice, go into the game plan, get a dub, be back on track, and just go from there.
Well, the Canes should bounce back when they host Central Connecticut State here at Hard Rock.
That's when they have to win. ACC's play starts right after that.
They better win.
All right, thanks, Donovan. For more on the Canes, we bring in our insider, Manny Navarro from The Athletic. Manny, in the 3 games the Canes have played, performance has been poor. How likely is it that a change will come for Manny Diaz or even someone like Athletic Director Blake James?
Well, knowing Miami's history and the way that they normally handle these issues, they don't act very fast. I don't think you're going to see a Florida State type situation where they fired Willie Taggart in the middle of the second season. I don't think you're going to see a situation where Manny Diaz or Blake James gets fired until the end of the year. But I think it's a possibility. I mean, look, Manny's got 2 years left on his contract. Blake James, while he's raised a lot of money for this school, there's certainly a lot of pressure right now on him from the outside, people who want to see a change. I just don't think it'll happen in the middle of the season.
Is the bad play more on the coaching staff or on the players?
I think it's a shared responsibility, man. I really do. I think, if you're Manny Diaz and Rhett Lashley, you've called a lot of plays where guys are supposed, they're where they're supposed to be. They just haven't either made the catch or made the tackle. So to me, that's execution on the players. And then, from a certain standpoint too, you got to blame the coaches because they recruited these guys to come here, right? And to play and to be a part of this program. And also, there's always changes they could make to try to improve things. And I don't think they've done that enough yet.
What is the biggest issue that this team needs to address ahead of ACC play in 2 weeks?
Well, they've got to learn to tackle better. And I don't know that that's something that you can fix in 2 weeks. Manny Diaz's teams haven't always been great tackling teams. This week they had 30. And, they started the season with 21 missed tackles against Alabama and 15 against Appalachian State in the win. They're averaging 22 missed tackles per game right now. That, to me, is number one. They've got to wrap up better. When they wrap up better, they usually win.
We know De'Aaron King got a little banged up this Saturday against Michigan State. Speaking of, how likely is it that we see Tyler Van Dyke against a Central Connecticut State this upcoming Saturday?
I think there's a very good chance. I think there's a very good chance you're going to see a lot of freshmen from Miami play in this game. I think you'll see Jake Garcia get some snaps. De'Aaron King's supposed to get his shoulder checked out today. We'll find out tomorrow when Manny Diaz speaks to the media how De'Aaron's feeling. But look, to me, I think no matter what happens in this game, you got to play a lot of these young guys. You got to see what they have to see if they can help you. Because right now you've got too many seniors, too many Mike Harleys, too many Will Mallory's, too many Gervin Halls. Guys that have been in this program for 4 or 5 years that are making mistakes that freshmen make. To me, you got to see what you've got in the new blood.
Before the season started, you said that the Canes were maybe right behind North Carolina in the division. Now, after 3 games, how do you feel they stack up in the ACC?
I think the Coastal Division is still up for grabs. And as bad as Miami has played thus far, I don't think anybody has really come out and impressed me. Virginia Tech had the win over North Carolina in week 1. Played great defense, and they go on the road and lose at West Virginia and don't look very good. North Carolina's defense got shredded by Virginia's offense. They gave up 39 points. They had to win that game 59-39. Look, Miami's not playing well right now, but I still think this division is bad enough that they could win it.
Everything's still in front for the Canes. Manny, thank you so much for your inside information. Appreciate the time as always.
Thanks, guys.
It'll be very interesting to see what the Canes will do at quarterback this week. One can only imagine if Miami falls to Central Connecticut State.